Hello everyone, jblader here, back again doing another tutorial on the channel. Today guys, we're playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I wanted to show you one of the most basic, easy ways that I have found to get through the battle tower. This requires no breeding or EV training, so it's a great way to get some early BP to get you started, and it involves this guy over here. They added a great feature where you can lend teams from this guy. He will lend you a team, and you have a lot of different options to go through, but I'm here to tell you that the tough team is easily my favorite. So the tough team has some good Pokemon on it, and let's go ahead and talk about each one and how you would use it and which ones I like to use. I've only done 18 battles in a row, and I've won all of those, but I can see this team being pretty balanced and easy to use. So you have a Hippowdon, and Hippowdon is going to be have Sandstream and a Rocky Helmet, so it's a defensive wall. I would use Hippowdon with Aegislash and maybe a Pokemon like Snorlax or a special type like Dragapult. And then you also have Mimikyu here with Life Orb, which is really good because Mimikyu can actually hit pretty hard and has good type coverage. But the Pokemon that I use is this Choice Scarf Rotom. It has Trick and it has Will-O-Wisp. And then it has Volt Switch and Overheat. And all those moves I feel are very great for like a lead Pokemon. So you can either trick them if they're going to set up right off the bat, lock them into that move, or you can get off a very quick Will-O-Wisp if you're afraid they're going to set up, so that's an easy option. And of course, with the Choice Scarf, you can Dynamax out of it to use different moves. And then I like using Snorlax as a defensive Pokemon, and then Dragapult as that fast cleanup crew Pokemon that has a white herb, so it drops the special attack drop from Draco Meteor if it comes down to that. But this team I've had a lot of success with, so I'm going to go ahead and do some BP battles or some battle tower battles, and I'll walk you through one of them and talk you a little bit about how I do it. This team has a lot of room for error. I actually will probably will make some mistakes, but it's pretty easy to use so far, and I've had a lot of success with it. So hopefully this guys will save you some time, and let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, let's take a look at this team in action. It's pretty easy to use, but you're going to be leading off with the Rotom. The Rotom is very useful because of the Volt Switch Scarf. It also is really great because of Trick with Scarf, so if you think that they're going to set up or use an ability that is not going to be very effective, then you can really easily just use the Trick here. But we're going to be using Volt Switch here because in this example, it's not a really favorable matchup. So we'll be able to outspeed, of course, go for Volt Switch, and then go into a matchup that's a little more favorable. Snorlax has Earthquake, so type coverage is a little bit better here. Then we'll be able to go ahead and use Earthquake, and we should be able to tank this Overheat. So we should be able to tank one more move as well after the special attack drop, even if it's super effective. And like that, Turtonator's down. So in this example, they're going to send out Togekiss next, so I have a few different options. Ideally, I want to switch back into Rotom, but I'm just going to go ahead and use Recycle here to kind of see what it's got. So it has Aura Sphere, which is super effective, so it's probably going to be using that again. So this gives me the opportunity to switch out into Dragapult, which is going to be able to have the immunity to fighting type moves, which is good. It works well with Snorlax. So we'll switch out here. And it's going to switch to Grass Knot, which is fine. It's not going to do that much. Then we'll be able to use U-Turn, because this is not the greatest type matchup here, into a Fairy type. But U-Turn just gives us some switch priority. And we'll be able to go out into Rotom, which is who we wanted to end up with anyway. And then Rotom's pretty tanky, so it can tank those Fairy type moves like that. And then we'll be able to use a Volt Switch, which should do a lot of damage. So we're going to go back into Snorlax here and basically sack the Snorlax. So this is a strategy where I don't know how useful Snorlax is going to be in the rest of the battle. So we're just going to go ahead and let it go here. And that way we'll be able to get the move priority on Rotom again. So we'll be able to take it out with a final Volt Switch. And then he's only got one Pokemon left. And we still have a Dynamaxing option if we need to. Another option you could do here is go ahead and Dynamax and use an electric Dynamax attack so that you wouldn't have to swap out and technically sack Snorlax. So that is one thing that you can do. Alright, then he sends out Wishy-Washy. This is another example of where the Rotom Volt Switch is going to be useful, or we can go out and Dynamax. So that is actually the option that I am not going to do because Wishy-Washy could hit Rotom with a really strong attack. So we're just going to go ahead and use Draco Meteor and hopefully do as much as possible. And of course we missed here. Okay, good. We lived that attack. Let's use Draco Meteor again. and it should just do a lot. And then we have the white herb. So we're going to be taken out here, but that's okay. We still have Rotom. And then we're going to attack first with Rotom because of the Choice Scarf. So we can either Dynamax, Electric type move, or just Volt Switch. And I'm pretty sure the Volt Switch is going to take it out here. So we're just going to go and Volt Switch. And even if we're locked into it, it doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead and do this. And like that, it is an pretty easy win. Like, we definitely didn't play it the best because we sacked Snorlax when we didn't have to. And you can break Choice Scarf by using Dynamaxing, which is really great. So that just shows you that even though I made a pretty crucial error in kind of sacking Snorlax early, it's still a pretty easy victory. And I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe, because I do a lot of Pokemon and just tutorial stuff, video game tutorial stuff in general here on the channel, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys.